Merry Christmas. I'm Sheila Walsh, and I'm so glad to join my dear friend Dr. Jeremiah for the Why the Nativity Experience to share an encouraging word to you during this most special of seasons. I've had the privilege of sharing many conversations with Dr. Jeremiah throughout the years, many of those in New York, and even some during the Christmas season. New York is a spectacular place, especially during Christmas. So much so, it can leave us feeling dazed. From the dazzling window displays of Fifth Avenue to the famous Macy's at Broadway and West 34th Street and the glittering 100-foot tree in Rockefeller Center. But travel to where you're watching this right now, and it's possible for us to also find ourselves dazed every year by the entire Christmas experience. There's so much to plan and get done. Gifts, baking, get-togethers, church events, travel, children's school events, and more. If we aren't careful, Christmas can leave us confused and bewildered. We can even be dazed into inaction. We think, I can't do it all, so I won't do anything. And there is no Christmas joy if we're completely overwhelmed. But in the next few minutes, we're going to turn dazed into amazed. We'll learn how to do that by looking back to the first Christmas, to the shepherds of Bethlehem. Well, they were dazed at first, but in the end were amazed in celebrating the birth of the Christ child. And we can do the same. Let's look at their Christmas experience in 3 phases, which we can model ourselves. First was the shepherds' reaction. Unless you live far out in the country, away from the sights and sounds of city life, it's hard for most of us to imagine just how dazed the shepherds must have been at what the heavens revealed on the outskirts of Bethlehem. The ink-black sky was punctuated with 1 billion pinpricks of starlight. The only sounds were the occasional gentle bleating of a sheep or the crackle of wood burning in their campfire. Suddenly, an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were greatly afraid. In other words, they were totally dazed, totally shocked at what they saw. The dark night was suddenly illuminated by the glory of the Lord as an angelic being spoke to them, telling them what was happening in Bethlehem. If that wasn't enough of a shock to their understanding, suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God. They were frozen in fear, overwhelmed by the sight and sounds of the angels. They could have stayed there, lost in their confusion, but they didn't. They came to their senses. So when we feel the busyness and stress of Christmas, think of the shepherds and listen for God's message in the moment. Second, let's look to the shepherds' response. The angel didn't command the shepherds to go to Bethlehem to see the newborn baby, but the angel implied it when he said, "You will find a babe wrapped in swaddling cloths, lying in a manger." So the shepherds responded. They snapped out of their dazed condition and said, "Let us now go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has come to pass, which the Lord has made known to us." And they came with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the babe lying in a manger. Right there, that's the transition we need to make in our lives this Christmas, moving from being overwhelmed with the season to seeking out the reason for the season. Think about it. The shepherds were overwhelmed by something that had never happened before. It was brand new and scary. We, on the other hand, get overwhelmed by something that happens every year. We're so used to Christmas that we have become dazed by the season instead of being amazed by the reason. So let's blink our eyes a few times so the bright lights of Christmas don't blind us to the purpose of it all. Let's respond like the shepherds did and seek out Jesus. It's okay to be a bit overwhelmed at the beginning of the season, as long as we remember what Christmas is all about, Christ the Lord's entrance into this world. Lastly, is the shepherds' resolve. After the shepherds reacted and responded to what had happened to them, what did they do? They were resolved to tell everyone. The Bible says the shepherds made widely known the saying which was told them concerning this child, and all those who heard it marveled at those things which they were told by the shepherds. I find it interesting and compelling that the shepherds weren't told to share the joy of Christmas with others. It was their own response to what they had experienced. Not only were they amazed at what they'd seen and heard, but others were amazed as well. Would you call a friend and invite them to be amazed at the lighting of the Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center, or take them with you to be dazzled by the display of ornaments at Macy's? Of course you would. It's hard to keep good news to ourselves, especially at Christmas. But we would only do that if we ourselves were totally amazed at the Christmas experience. This Christmas, let the shepherds of Bethlehem be our model. Instead of being overwhelmed by the experience, locked into inaction, let us seek out Jesus and share the love of Christmas with others. Before we go, I have a question for you. Do you want to be amazed this Christmas? This happens when we blend celebration with purpose, when we find the right balance between our Christmas responsibilities and our Christmas response to them. There's nothing wrong with being busy at Christmas unless it leaves us dazed by it all. Instead, let's be amazed by the gift of Jesus Christ as we celebrate Him, the true reason for the season. Merry Christmas.